that, let me challenge you a little bit on that, Peter, because dog versus human being, right now, right? Or any animal versus human being. If you ask me who is more dangerous today, I would say an overthinking human being who's got wrong intentions is way more dangerous than a puppy or a dog, who's got not that kind of generalized level of intelligence. So wouldn't that same thing apply here? We're saying you're actually making an argument, which is, I find it very fascinating, that narrow AI is dumb and therefore more dangerous. How can, explore that for me? Sorry. I mean, can intelligence mean more?
Yeah. So, we can certainly go there. And I actually, let me just finish on why we want smart systems, and I'll come back to that. So yes, first of all, we want systems that are simply better at doing their job, much better than doing their job, and for that they need high levels of intelligence. But the other thing is, we ultimately want AI to help us solve the problems in the world that are too hard for us to solve. So, I mean, if you look at, producing nanotechnology, clean energy, look at pollution, look at poverty, look at, diseases, aging, look at governance in particular. I think civilization has got to a point where we're not really smart enough to actually even manage our own lives, in a global sense, in terms, governments are generally a mess. So we need to apply more intelligence to help us solve these problems of advanced civilization. And that's why I think it's almost a question that we need AI to save ourselves from ourselves. So I think there's a good argument to be made. But even if you don't believe that, just imagine training one AGI to be a cancer researcher, PhD level cancer researcher. Now you can make 1 million copies of that AGI, and you have 1 million AGI. You have 1 million cancer researchers chipping away at this problem in parallel, without their egos getting in the way, communicating, sharing what they're finding freely. How quickly do you think we'll make progress in cancer? I mean, it'll be phenomenal to have that kind of power. So yeah, I think all the reasons in the world of why we want more intelligence in our AI. But getting to, you say, a human with bad intentions can do a lot of damage, more than an animal. Yes, true. But a human with good intentions can also do a lot more good than a dog or a cat can do.
Sure.
So why would we build AGIs with bad intentions? Nobody's really ever explained that to me. Or, if commercially you are building a system that must help humans. Now, there may be some fraction of people that want to abuse AI in some way, but it's always going to be important that we have more good guys than bad guys. I mean, but that's a general problem in civilization. You have more cops than robbers, or the cops are better than the robbers. But there's every reason to believe that that'll be the case, because most AGIs will be built to help humanity. But there's actually an even much more important point. A lot of bad people, or people that do bad things, that we, call them immoral, or call them just bad, or call them stupid, whichever. But let's say things that are negative for humanity, or negative for the individual. There are three key reasons for that it happens. I mean, there are more than three, but I'd like to highlight three of them. And we could take 9/11 as an example for that. So people react emotionally, react out of fear. And we don't necessarily make the smartest decisions when we react out of fear. The second thing is we act with not enough information. We're not very good at getting clear information. It's easier to just get whatever you first see on Facebook or on your, whatever news channel you happen to
Yep.
turn on to. So we work with very limited information, not very objective selection of information. And thirdly, we are not actually very good at reasoning. Evolution didn't develop our brains to be rational thinkers. That's sort of we're trying to achieve that with our training and schooling and so on. But we're inherently not very good. There are all sorts of fallacies we fall into. Now, an AI isn't going to suffer from any of those. It's not going to react out of fear. It's going to have much better information available to it,
Sure.
and it's going to be much, much better at rational thought. So it'll actually be able to give us good advice that will avoid us making many of the mistakes that we currently make in the world that are detrimental to human flourishing. So intelligence is a positive force to human flourishing.